picking up on the actual concept of leading with safe uncertainty, this actually started, or we were first came across this from Barry Mason, psychotherapist, in a therapeutic setting. And what Barry Mason was very much saying is, particularly within families that he was working with, to get behavioural change and for it to really stick and embed, people needed, and the families and children involved needed to enter into the realm, the area of safe uncertainty. And it was then first put into an organisational context in a draft paper by Jeremy Keeley. And when we were picking up both of these and looking through those two lenses, what we were experiencing with organisations, we were saying, well, actually the same is actually showing up, which has then led us on to developing, which several of you were seen in the sort of optional pre-read, our development of using the 4-box grid that came from the therapeutic setting, but describing leading with safe uncertainty as a framework. And this framework is for individual leaders, for teams and organisations to engage with uncertainty as a catalyst for growth. And it is really that safe uncertainty top right-hand quadrant that we will be delving into a little bit more detail. But first off, I just do want to give a little whistle-stop tour of the concept and what we are saying and what we've experienced and gleaned together around what are those organisational operating environments that we're seeing and have seen for each of those 4 boxes. So what I'm going to do is go through each of these in turn, and the descriptors that you see within those boxes does form our starter diagnostic for where are people, what is showing up in organisations. And as I go through these, if we're looking at safe certainty, very much here, as the images depict, this is the domain of the market leader, the sole supplier, with no perceived pressure for change, status quo, as not the rock band, but I'm sure some would appreciate status quo. They will defend the status quo. They get defensive. It is more about the past, what's made us great, than the future. And they may well stagnate and very much be superseded by those more agile and responsive competitors out there. The unsafe uncertainty. This environment is one of fear. There is the feeling of an accident waiting to happen. There is, at one level, everyone knows how bad things are, but there is denial. There isn't the speaking up or speaking out. There's a hope that things will just go away. And it's all about the rules, and we go by this. And it is so draining, and it sort of saps energy out of people. With regard to unsafe certainty, often a reaction to this quadrant is reacting to issues that surface, and that's through blame and very sort of restrictive ways of working, and that in terms is quite demoralizing. And if there's one thing to sort of make things certain here, well let's devise a checklist. Let's say, oh yeah, we thought of that, and here's the checklist to be putting in. Now, as I'm going through, and as those that will have read the paper beforehand, looking at some of those descriptors, I'm sure names of organisations, or you can acknowledge yourself institutional organisations that fit some of these boxes, or even bits fitting through all of these. So the final one, as I said, the focus really for us is the safe uncertainty and what it is and what it means and what it gives. So very much when we are operating from an environment of safe uncertainty, we've got the spec savers clarity, or I should say other opticians are available, but we've got that clarity of intent. There's confidence, there's energy, there is an appetite and an enthusiasm to get things done, to deliver. And there is, I suppose, within this, coming back to seeing the words there in those 4 grids, usually at this stage interested to say, okay, so what's the fit from where you're sitting within your institutions, your place of work? where would you see yourselves